Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. And as you can see, we are in a little bit of a road trip. You guys can wave. There we go. Levi, you look like we picked you up on the side of the road there. All right. So anyways, I wanted to jump on here and talk about some stuff that, well, a lot of you have been sending me things. And you know, text messages and emails, and some of you that have become friends with my wife, they've also done the same. And it's interesting when I talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the world, especially when it comes to the economy and shutdowns or shortages, especially shortages and things of that nature. Well, I seem to get a lot of feedback from you. And so this video mostly is that I want to share with you some of the stuff, and one thing really in particular, and I'm going to show a screenshot of it here in just a minute. One of my very dear friends, Don and Norma, that have been long-time listeners of this channel, he sent this to me, and I have not seen anything whatsoever in the news about this. And so I want to show it to you pretty quickly, and then we'll get on to some other stuff. So it's a link to TransUnion's website, and most all of you know what TransUnion is. It's one of the big credit bureaus, one of the big three, I guess, and they keep all this data on people's credit, and well, you just know what it is, right? Anyway, so this is a report that they released back in January. Now, I don't have any other current numbers. Could the numbers be better than they were in January? It's possible. There's evidence that people are going back to work a little bit more than they were, back in January and stuff. But I suspect these numbers aren't extremely better than what we're getting ready to see here. So in this report, it's this PDF, and I'll try to leave a link to it down in the description somewhere so that you can go check it out yourself. Because like I said, it's just a lot of stuff. But if you scroll down through it, it has a percentage. It's talking about delinquent accounts in the United States. It's talking about, all these different numbers of how many Americans are delinquent in their bills, delinquent in credit, okay? Any type of bill that they have that's a credit cards, house payments, car payments, anything that's involving credit, the delinquency of those. And so here I'm sorry for the shakiness because I'm just holding this as we're driving. Look at this screenshot here. This is percentage of delinquent accounts in the United States, January 2021 compared to January 2020. Compared to January 2020, as of January 2001, 34,000% increase. Almost a 35,000% increase in delinquent accounts in the United States. 34,000%. That's right. Look at that. See the little red circle? 34,000% increase in delinquent accounts. This isn't from, some type of website that you could say, well, they're one of these kind of right-wing crazy websites, or one that, well, you could say the numbers are a little fudged because of the type of information or the type of site that it's coming from. This is from TransUnion's own website. 34,000% increase in delinquent accounts in the United States. Folks, if that right there doesn't tell you the state of our economy, if there is a 34,000%, when I first saw it, and when Don sent this to me, he typed it out, a little message, and I thought he kind of, used a comma instead of a period. It was supposed to be 34 point something percent. So I thought, okay, it's a 34% increase, not 34 comma and then 3 digits. Until I went and looked at it, and sure enough, it's 34,000% increase. I just let that sink in a little bit. How the economy is doing, how the American people are doing with paying their bills and getting back on their feet, and you know, what the future holds for the United States. Now, what's the reasons for this? Well, there's many reasons. Some people are just not paying them because, well, you know, you don't have to pay your mortgage right now, or you pay your rent payment because there's these moratoriums. You know, it could be you know, like school loans. I saw something about a week ago that something like you know, over half now of school loans are in delinquency because, you know, what are you going to do? It's a health crisis, and the president says you don't have to pay one. This is going to start catching up with America, folks. You know, our GDP to debt ratio is in the 140% range. A range that only ever happens to a nation when they go into, you know, extreme inflation or hyperinflation. These numbers are quite scary. And I think a lot of us look at these numbers and wonder, how in the world do we have an economy as it is right now, looking at these numbers? So, I don't know. Buckle up, get ready. Make sure the ark that you're building is prepared and well ready for the storm that is ahead of us. Some other things that I've just been seeing, and you know, people are sending messages to me and stuff. A lot of restaurants now are starting to experience shipping delays. They're not getting the products that they need. We talked to someone from Sonic that worked for the Sonic restaurants, you know, the little drive-through restaurants, drive-ins or whatever, and they're experiencing this is happening at other restaurants. Seeing more and more of it posted online. We're hearing about people that work in different types of industries, like say mechanics, or where they're building certain components for cars. You know, maybe they're building transmissions or building the engines or stuff like that. That they're not getting the components that they need for these different parts of the vehicles, and so it's not so much that there's a shortage of builders or mechanics or factory workers. It's a shortage of actual supplies. And so, you know, a lot of times that they're sending these people home because, well, we don't have any work for you because, you know, the shipment didn't come in for the components to build this or to make whatever. This is happening more and more. Of various shortages that I see it almost every day. When I get online, I get messages from people, or I just find it, you know, when I'm online. This kind of stuff is happening more often, and the shortages, the supply chain disruptions that we're seeing and that we're hearing about, and the economy the way it is right now, where the Fed has added lots and lots of zeros to their balance sheets, and they're recapturing all this money. You know, whether they released all this money to banks to try to help the economy, and guess what? It didn't do any good. And because people aren't taking out loans right now, because banks aren't really giving out loans right now, they're not wanting to release that money. So all this money was just sitting in your local banks, and so they're selling that back to the Fed, and the Fed is purchasing it in astronomical amounts. If I can find the graphic, I'll put it up here. But the last that I saw, and this was about a week ago, that just in the last few weeks, we're looking at numbers, you know, getting pretty close to $1 trillion that they're buying back, and that's actually a really bad thing. It shows that the economy, that money right now is stagnant. No one is spending it. No one is borrowing it, because I think deep down inside, regardless of what the news media says, regardless of what's posted on social media, regardless of what the the loonbat liberals that comment on this channel all the time, bragging about how great the economy is. The average American, they're starting to feel it. They're starting to feel it when they go to the grocery store. They've been feeling it when they put gas in their car. They're feeling it with their jobs, that maybe they've been cut back in hours, or maybe they've lost their job, or they're not able to find a better job. Maybe they own a business and they're not able to supply the business the way they need to, or there's delays after delays, or they've struggled because of all the shutdowns that they went through, and now they're just now starting to open up, and they're really trying to get going, but it's becoming really difficult. This is a continuing theme all across America, and a nation and an economy of a nation cannot continue at these levels, cannot continue at this pace of non-growth, basically, and the only growth is just more debt, and not expect there to be a fall or break or collapse. So once again, I know I've been kind of beating this subject up a little bit lately, but I think it's very important. I think we're heading into some troubled times. We're already there, right? And you and I know that we're already there. But as a country, I think it's going to start getting a little bit worse. You know, remember back when Joe Biden was running for office before the election, how many times did he use the words dark winter, dark winter, dark winter? Well, I know it's not winter. And I know I'm using what he said as a metaphor, but I think that we, from at least an economic standpoint, we're going to start seeing more and more of this. It's not getting better; it's progressively worsening, and as it worsens, things are going to start getting tougher and harder, and you folks are going to start feeling it more and more. So I know it sounds like, oh, he's on here making another doomsday, the sky is falling video. No, it's not really that. What it is we've got to be more prepared. These things happen throughout history, and they're survivable. Are they tough? Do they test us? Do they push us to our limits sometimes? Sure, absolutely they do. But are they survivable? Absolutely they are. And in fact, not only are they survivable, but for the ones that push hard to persevere, tend to come out on the other end stronger. Not always necessarily better financially, but at least stronger. Look at the greatest generation, the ones that we talk about, the men and women that during World War II, during the 30s and 40s. How did that generation get so strong? Well, they grew up during the Depression. They grew up during the Depression, and they suffered and they struggled through that, and then look at what they became because of that. They went off and fought a huge war, quite possibly the most expensive war this nation's ever gone into, and against some pretty crazy odds, and they were able to push through and to survive and to win that war. And the stories of people, what people endured during that time, not just overseas, but people here, are pretty bad. Well, how did those people get tough enough to go through that? Because they lived through the Depression, they lived through really tough times, and they made it. So it doesn't mean that you know, the end is near and that we're all going to perish because of this. What it means is we've got to get ready. Your mental fortitude is very important. That mental strength, that warrior mindset is what you need. Getting yourselves prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. Getting your house in order. These are the things that you need to be doing. You should have been doing all along, for months now, and continue to do that. And if you haven't, you need to start soon, because you know, we're not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure that we're going to start seeing a true, real collapse. No one can know that. But what we do know is based on history, based on numbers, based on just the whole, I don't know, how America has become come. I think it's kind of foretelling the future that things are looking kind of bleak, and we need to get ourselves prepared for it. So continue to prepare, continue to get yourselves ready. Again, I want to mention before I get off of here, for those of you that live in the Missouri Ozarks, or at least near Texas County, Missouri, or you are willing to drive, this Sunday we're having a local meeting. It's open to anyone. Please bring your entire family if you can. It's a big facility. Go ahead and shoot me an email down below here if you want to know more information about it, specifics, details. If any of you are planning on coming and you'd like to do a little presentation, talk about a subject that you know that's related to prepping or homesteading, please also let me know, and maybe we can work you in a time to get up and talk. All right, folks. Oh, my wife, she's driving. She
don't want the camera.
Oh, she doesn't want to be on camera, but go ahead.
I just want to thank everybody for prayers, for their consideration, for support in many different ways. We have pretty amazing viewers.
Yes, you people are amazing. I don't want to go into personal details, but I've talked about vehicle problems. We're still working on that. But this vehicle that we're in right now, one of you viewers that lives near us, it's an extra vehicle they have, and they've allowed us to use it for a few days so that we can get things done that we need to get done. And so I want to, my wife is right. I want to thank you all very much again for your prayers, your well wishes. But anyways, just like I said, continue to get yourselves prepared, because, my goodness, 34,000% increase in delinquent credit accounts in the United States in 1 year. That's a pretty significant number, and I suspect it's kind of like a, snowball going downhill. It's only going to get worse. All right, folks, thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video.